This is Joseph Kogo with Sequel Lab at MoCCA Fest 2012. Morgan, if you could introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Morgan Pielli. I'm a cartoonist. I do a comic series called Indestructible Universe Quarterly, which you can find at indestructibleuniverse.com. It's a series of collections of short, sort of Twilight Zone-y sci-fi comics. So each book's its own collection of short pieces. I've been doing comics formally since 2008. I graduated from the Center of Cartoon Studies in Vermont, and this is my 6th week of it.
Awesome. So I take it you enjoy the convention. What would you say brought you here?
I do. Well, I've always been interested in comics, and I started out interning at MoCCA back in 2003. So I was working their very second convention, and yeah, I remember just being fascinated. It was right when a lot of the alternate indie stuff was really first peaking. So I remember just being fascinated by all this new, amazing material that was coming out, and knowing this is something that I wanted to pursue as well. Yeah. That was a special guest high five from Lucy Nisley.
Hi, Lucy.
For those who can't see the video of this, and just hearing flesh slapping flesh.
Right. Just your arm just raises and then there's like a slap, and it's like,
hello world.
Perfect. Sorry, I'm interrupting.
Okay. So Morgan, what would you say are some of your major influences?
Well, from writing, I read a lot of short stories. Richard Matheson, Philip K. Dick, Ray Bradbury, a lot of sci-fi writers, and Hitchcock, Poe, a lot of comic writers. From the art side of it, I'm a huge Paul Chris fan, and currently my biggest influence in terms of the direction my styles have been moving in. Also, Paul Chadwick, both his writing and his art, has been a major influence on me. I really cut my teeth on the DC Vertigo Dark Horse comics of the late 90s, early 2000s. That's kind of the era that I'm coming out of. So, yeah.
Do you have any recommendations for someone who might be thinking about coming to MoCCA for the first time?
Sure. Well, I would definitely say swing by the Center for Cartoon Studies table. I mean, their program's amazing. I don't want to sound like I'm a shill, but I wouldn't be where I am had I not gone through that program.
Right.
There's always amazing cartoonists here, but always check out Secret Acres, Fantagraphics Top Shelf. There's a lot of great indie publishers. A lot of my friends come to these shows. Steve Sex, Lindo, cartoonist Chad Sell, all great people whose work is well worth looking at. But yeah, I would also recommend not just MoCCA. There are a lot of smaller conventions starting up. So the Brooklyn Zine Festival, for example, or the Brooklyn Comics and Graphics Festival over at Desert Island. If you're in the New York area, those are two conventions that are really worth your time. And I don't think have a door charge. They do it as much as so MoCCA's great, but check out all the smaller ones too. You're going to get a better cross-section of material these days. And then also come to my table and buy all of my stuff.
Of course. Is there anything you'd be interested in promoting?
Sure. The newest issue of my comic is Indestructible Universe #9. And it's, again, a collection of short pieces. This one's theme is SOS. So there's a couple stories about suicide. There's a story about politics of capitalism. And a story based on the lyrics to the theme song for the movie Dark Star. So if that strange sentence appeals to you, you'll love my comic. And then, of course, also the previous Indestructible Universe issues 1 through 8 are also available. And you can get them off my website as well, should you have the great misfortune of missing me at this convention. And go to indestructibleuniverse.com, you can find my stuff. I think I've said my website enough times.
Yeah. And you mentioned kind of going around the convention and talking to some people, getting to know people. How would you recommend approaching people? Would you recommend showing up with your work and kind of presenting it to them, or just engaging them in conversation? Or
that's a tough call. I think some people are very receptive to looking at people's work, some aren't. I think you have a better chance of having people want to look at your stuff if you have a mini comic. If you're just coming with a portfolio, I wouldn't really recommend that. I think a lot of people find that off-putting. But most people really like doing trades. So if you have something you're cool with trading, you can get other people's work. Even fairly established cartoonists are usually happy to trade comics. And that's a good way to see other people's stuff, get your stuff in their hands. But also just talking. I mean, most people at these shows are really approachable. It's comics, let's be honest. It's not that big. So even huge names in comics are still pretty down-to-earth, humble people. You're not going to get a lot of divas at a comics con, especially at an indie con. Yeah, that'd be my advice. If you're really into comics, I mean, it's worth your time to come and look at as much stuff as possible.
Okay. Well, thank you, Morgan. I'm Joseph Coco with Sequel Lab. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Hope you have a good MoCCA.
Thank you very much, and have a good MoCCA too.